newspaper last week about Walter Breuning. He died. Walter's dead. He was 114 years old. And he had advice, and they just listed his advice for the secrets of a happy life. Embrace change, eat 2 meals a day, work as long as you can, help others, and don't fear death because you're born to die. And didn't I find immediately someone had written an article about Walter? And I really enjoyed what this guy had to say because he talked about embracing change. At times of change, St. Paul said, I have become all things to all people, that by all means I might save some. That's what Jesus said. We need to fall away from our old eating habits, our old ways. Yes, it's comfortable to always have pizza on Friday nights. Yes, it's comfortable to have that fish fry or that fish sandwich or that sugar addiction or that carb addiction. Until we embrace change, we will not make steps on our healthy journey. Now, eating the 2 meals a day, I love Walter ate 2 meals a day. He lived to 114. He said, that's all you need. I'm going to let you make your own judgment on that. But I think it's funny. This guy says, I want to live longer someday, so I'll eat less someday too. Get it? Someday too. Now, that's so often what some of us think, but we have to be careful. Work as long as you can. Now, what I think Walter means about work is, you know, Americans, they work incessantly so they can retire young and then not work anymore, and then they go crazy. Like, what am I supposed to do now? Whereas people like our volunteer of the month, Norma, works her butt off at 115 funeral luncheons and cleaning the altar. And so many of you here who have retired give back in that kind of work. A lot of people call Pray It Off for Me work. I don't see it as work at all. It's my passion, it's my love, it's what keeps me going. Helping others, isn't that all key if you work to help others? It's saying to them, I don't care as much about my time and my stuff as I do about you. You are important to me. And this whole thing with you're born to die, you know, it's interesting. This week I lost a friend of mine. He was 60. To me, that's young. I remember when I was 14 and Jim Croce died in a plane crash. He was 38 years old. I said, he lived a good life. He was old enough. You know, now that I'm 56, 60's young. And one of the things I want to say is there was some division with him and one of his sons who's in the military, he's in Germany. And they didn't speak for a long time. So isn't that son, he flew in from Germany for the funeral. What this friend of mine would have given to have that plane trip in from Germany when he was still alive. So I guess what I learned from this is we are all going to die. So if you're not speaking to someone, if you think you got a big problem or whatever, is it really? I always stop and think, those people on 9/11 didn't know it was their last day. You don't know, so you got to say you love someone. You got to say you forgive them. People say, you McCauleys are the lovingest, huggingest family there ever was. My father lost his 6 brothers and his sister, many of them before they were 40. They lived in Love Canal. We learned that you always say, I love you. You'll see me, I'm always saying it to you guys. I love you, see you, I send you an email, love you. You know, someone passes around a card and I go, who's Tony? I don't care, love you. I love Tony, whoever he is, I love him. I feel that's important. We're born to die. We can't live our lives in fear of dying. We have to live our lives to live. Thank you, Walter, for that beautiful, beautiful advice. I'm going to stop there.